Hi friends, it's Jade here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time. It's been actually quite a while. I want to say maybe a couple of months since I've done a video, and yeah, sorry about that, but life has been a little crazy, a little hectic. I've been suffering very badly from migraines. This summer has been crazy, so I just haven't had a whole lot of energy. I've been working on a lot of things though, so I thought I would, and I've gotten a lot of things in, so I thought I would jump on here. Today is September 1st, so I thought I'd kind of do a summer wrap up, I guess. So a few things. What have I been working on? And maybe I'll do a depth year update as well. This year I had said at the beginning of the year that I was going to do a depth year, which is not a no-buy year, because I knew that that would just be setting myself up for failure, but a low-buy year, and because I wanted to really dive into the studies of a few things. The first one being the Solabusca tarot, the second one being the Tarot de Marseille, and then Thoth and Lenormand. Not necessarily in that order. I'm just going to plug this in here because my phone. So, in terms of it being a low buy year, it's a big fat fail, I'm gonna say. And I started off not too bad in January, February, and then COVID hit and things went for crap all around the world, and I you know what, I just let myself off the hook. Studying decks, buying new decks, looking at all the different artwork and different styles, and looking at the tarot through the Lenormand or Sibylla, or you know, through the eyes of the different artists is something that really interests me. And so in a really crappy time for the world and a stressful time, why stress myself out about the fact that I had originally wanted to have a low buy year? Yeah, so I'm going to show a parade of decks, and yes, hello, I'm Jade. I'm a deck pig. I have nowhere near, guys, I have a lot more than many people, but I don't have nowhere near some people, so it's all good. Whatever makes you happy is good, and this is something that makes me happy. So I will show you some of that, but first maybe I'll talk about some of the other things that I've been doing. One of the things that I decided to take advantage of COVID for, and actually I had this plan already in the winter time, and then COVID just sort of, well, me getting sick sort of threw things for a loop and just delayed things. But in terms of, you know, my migraines and my health and whatnot, I've been really trying to focus on that. So focusing on nutrition, focusing on working out. I joined a gym, which has gone completely online. Actually, they were in part of phase 3, which just was allowed to reopen recently, just within the past few weeks here, but they're not at full capacity, right? I think they're only allowing like 25% of the people in because they have to maintain the distance and COVID cleaning measures and stuff. But frankly, I don't think I'm going to go back to, I don't think I'm going to go in-house anymore, because working out from home has been awesome. So they do the workouts on Zoom. So the coach is there, or the personal trainer is there on Zoom, and she's watching you, and it's CrossFit, so you don't need a whole lot of equipment. You know, I have I have a few weights. I have a medicine ball, and then other than that, it's mostly your body weight. So it's been amazing just being able to roll out of bed and go downstairs and do my workout. They've moved to 6 a.m., which is something that kind of sucks. I'm not a morning person by any stretch of the imagination. I'm more of a night owl, and I do suffer from insomnia too, so 6 a.m.s are kind of tough, but I'm making it work. So that's one thing. In terms of the other part of that and the whole like stress relief kind of thing, you know, doing tarot and studying, I'll talk about that kind of stuff is one thing. And then the other thing, if you know me, you also know that I knit and crochet, and I actually lost my knitting mojo completely for well over a year, and it has been slowly coming back over the past few months, and it's much better now. So I've been working away and actually finding myself picking up my knitting at certain times. So I'll show off a couple of those things just because it's real quick. So one, I know I've shown this before. I have this like indie dyed yarn, which is very sparkly. I don't know if that comes off. I think you can see the sparkles. It is fingering weight yarn, and I am knitting a pair of socks for myself. And so actually there's one sock completely finished. I know it's kind of hard to see, right? But it's just plain. I really wanted something that I could just have in my hands and knit. So keeping my hands occupied is something that helps me with stress and anxiety. So shuffling cards has a similar sort of effect. Anyways, I finished the one and I started the second one. I'm knitting with double pointed needles. My husband's grandmother, who is 97, she just turned 97 a month ago. We went to visit a few weeks ago, or last week, and I'm sitting there and I'm just, you know, sort of knitting away, and she was staring at me and just like, oh my God, you're not even looking. Like, how can you knit without looking? And not to mention, it looks like you're trying to knit with a porcupine. And that, you know, that's just the thing. That's what, you know, it's just knit stitches. So just knit around and around. Your fingers know what to do, so don't need to look. So that's kind of just my stress relief. It's taking a long time because I don't work on it all the time. But the other thing is I'm knitting a sweater. So I had started this last fall maybe, and yeah, I just didn't have my knitting mojo. So I will show you what I'm knitting. It is called the sailing sweater. Here's a picture of it. So it's just the back is the same. It's just a nice little oversized top. And this, not only can I not do it without looking, I have to look, but I can't even talk to people. Watching TV is iffy as well. Watching TV, especially if it's something that I'm interested in, I would say I'm unknitting 50% of what I knit, just because how you knit this, it's not complicated, guys. Knitting is just, it's 2 stitches, and knitting and like knit stitches and purl stitches. But knitting this from instructions, right, from a chart. So each one of these squares means something, whether it has something in it or not. And so you know, you have to pay. And then the other thing is that, you know, when you're knitting one row, you're knitting in one, you're reading the chart in one direction. And when you're knitting the next row, you're actually reading the chart in the other direction. And because you have to, so there's a box here, this section gets repeated like 3 times in the single row. And, you know, counting is hard. You know, I can count to 2 and then I lose track. Anyways, all that to say, I almost have the first one side complete, so it looks like a big mess. So the thing with lace is that it does look like a big ragged mess until you're finished. So you can kind of see there what it looks like. So it starts off at one end, kind of narrow, and then it gets bigger. I have maybe like another 2 inches of this, and then I decrease just like this. So this is like armhole to armhole, and then I have to do side 2. So we'll see how that works, because I tend to get bored with stuff. So sometimes if I have to repeat the same thing over and over, it can be challenging, but I'm just taking my time. The other thing I want to do is I want to make another one of this, even though I just said I don't tend to make things over and over again, tarot pouches aside. But I have this shawl, which hopefully you can see is the Wonder Woman shawl. I'm not going to put it on because it's really hot in here. I love this thing. I love this thing so much. This was my first indie dyed yarn that I purchased, and it is amazing. And I want to make another one, but the second one I'm going to make is going to be blue, dark, like a navy blue, and then silver for the W. So that is something that I'm looking forward to at some point to do. Tarot-wise, studying the tarot has been something that has been keeping me occupied. So I started off this year thinking that I was going to really go in depth with the Sola Busca, and I did a little bit, but I wouldn't say I went into any huge depth for a bunch of reasons, and it took a while for my resources to get here. So that's kind of been put to the side a little bit because I have been hit by the Tarot de Marseille bug, guys. Like, if you'd asked me about TDM last year, I would have told you, well, even at the beginning of this year, TDM decks are ugly. There, I said it. I'm not sorry. It's just my opinion. I had a similar reaction to some decks like the Jodorowsky deck and the CBD, so the Conver Bendov deck. There's something about those primary colors that just I have a bad reaction to. Same, you know, like same thing in terms of the colors for the the original RWS deck that I had. It was the same thing. Like the yellow is like super offensive to me. And then the other thing with the TDM decks was the eyes on the people. They just freaked me out. I don't know. I just don't like it. You couldn't really see their eyeballs. You just see black specks, or the faces just look really, really weird. And I just couldn't get into it. But I did want to learn that system because I think that system will lend itself well to reading with the ancient Italian decks, which I love. So the Sopraffino being my, I have it here in my wrap. The Sopraffino being, you know, like one of my soul decks. I absolutely adore it. This is the Il Meneghello version. This is not a new purchase, guys. I've had this, but I just like, there's something about this. Oh, there's a face. Right? The Italians just know how to do it. Like, you know, they look like real people. And I just love the colors, right? There's none of that bright primary color thing. I'm not putting TDM decks down. It's just not my preference, that's all. This is face, right? It's just not my preference. So I prefer faces that look real, and all of those faces do. So, but they're very similar, right? The arrangements of the pips and stuff are a little bit different. And that's fine. And you could argue that some of the meanings are a little bit different as well. But for the most part, I think that the TDM, a method of reading Tarot de Marseille would lend itself well to reading with the ancient Italian decks. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to, I'm just gonna put that aside. Oops, sorry. Part of the reason why I wanted to really dive into the TDM system. So, along with that, I needed a TDM deck. So I had a couple. I had the Marshmallow Marseille. I let go of my Tarot Siren. Both versions of it that I had two copies, and I let both of them go. Not for any particular reason. I think George at the Wandering Oracle is amazing. Like, and let me tell you, customer service, amazing. I would recommend him to Wandering Oracle to anybody. And I loved the Tarot Siren. It's a gorgeous deck. But what I found was that when I wanted to read with a TDM, I would reach for this guy and never with the Tarot Siren. I don't know what it is. I do like mermaids. I'm not like super crazy about them, but anyway, so I decided to part with those to somebody who is really wanting them, wanting that deck in their life. I did part with a few other decks, mostly decks that I had duplicates of, although a couple that I had no duplicates of. I'm not going to say that I don't regret some of those, but it's fine. It's fine. Have I convinced myself yet? I don't know. But the other one that I had, and I had no idea about, I just thought a Tarot TDM was a TDM deck. And I had no idea that there were differences. So I had this one already, which is the Tarot Classic. And I had no idea. So there are apparently type 1, type 2, different types, and then possibly a type 3 deck. And I like, so you can see the faces, right? They're better than on some of the other ones. I couldn't really put into words why I liked this one so much as opposed to some of the other ones like the CBD. And part of it is the colors. So we don't have the bright in your face primary colors. I like the ornateness of some of the suits. So for example, these cups, I just like, they're just gorgeous. And we already talked about the faces. So the faces are much nicer. Now these are all like, they're just black, right? So you don't see any whites. So you know, but you can still kind of tell where they're looking. And let me see if I can find a suit of wands. So I really like the decks that show the wands with having the ornate ends to them, as opposed to, I think on the CBD deck, or the reproductions of the Convert deck, they're just like kind of these like spiky things. Anyways, I recently learned, and you know, like the colors are different. There's a lot more pinks and whatnot. I recently found out that this is a reproduction of, I mean, it says on the box, and I don't know why I recently found out, but I didn't really know that there was a difference between them. This is a reproduction or facsimile, I guess, of the Claude Burdel duck. So I started learning as I'm, anyways, actually, sorry. Just to take a step back, I wanted to get another deck that was maybe closer to the original, but I don't know. I like having options. So I wanted another one. And that kind of led me down a rabbit hole. Because I'm trying to reach over here. So I bought two decks. One is a Fournier. Actually, these two, actually about three, which I'm only going to show two of. But I bought these decks by Fournier. So Tarot de Marseille. That's one. I think that's this one. So the backs are really cute. It's kind of it. It was fairly inexpensive. Again, we don't have these huge. So it's a different take. We do have different colors, right? Like purple horses. Got green. There's the coins. I don't know why some of these are upside down. Anyways, that's one. That is the Tarot de Marseille by Fournier. And then the other one I got is also by Fournier, and it is the Spanish Tarot. I don't have the box. I don't have the box. Anyways, here's the backs. And I edged it in a green that matches the green that's on the backs. This one I got because the colors kind of appeal to me. Also very inexpensive. And what I like about this one is that the backgrounds are not white. There are other colors. So there's the majors. Let's go for, so there's the wands that have that lime green color. Let's see. There's the swords that have a blue background. The coins have this sort of yellow-green background. And what am I missing? The faces are very clear. You can see where they're looking. You can see the whites of their eyes. And the cups have this orangey red background. There's another cup. Anyway, so those two. I joined a couple of Facebook groups, TDM Facebook groups, which maybe I shouldn't have done because that sort of got me started down this path of learning and being more interested in TDM. And one of the things that I learned, so once I saw that these two decks that I just showed you were there and are very different than what's always seems to be in your face, which is the CBD deck or the Hodorowski deck. And again, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm sure they're wonderful decks. I just don't prefer those colors. And learning about, the fact that there were actually other types that were made. So what I learned is that Tarot de Marseille is not actually just one deck. That there were different versions and reproductions. So that got me down this path, and I purchased these three. From France, so from Yves Reynaud in France, and this is the Tarot Héry, Francois Héry, 1730. It's very cute. Actually, if you compare it to a regular tarot size, you'll see it is shorter, Yeah, about the same width, just a little bit wider. There's the backs. Comes with 2 title cards. That just says I have 295 out of 1600. And these are, I learned there's a difference between facsimiles and reproductions. I think this is a facsimile. So you can see it's got the older, oh, this has Juno and Jupiter, by the way, just like the one JJ Swiss does. But I love the colors. I love this old style, right? Like, it goes back to, you know, one of the reasons why I love the ancient Italian. Now, the faces, still weird. That one's not so bad. Like that one, totally weird. I understand why it is. I'm not, you know, just like I said, it's not my preference. Anyway, so that is one. I've been using this deck a lot. Actually, I've been really enjoying using this deck. This one went to the cottage with me. And this one here, which is the Gassman 1840. This is larger, more of a regular tarot size. I love that the backs are blue. I might edge this. I've seen this on Facebook. Somebody edged it, one person edged it an orange, which with the blue looks amazing. I mean, those are complementary colors. And then someone else edged it with a lime green, which again is just gorgeous. So I love this deck so much. Again, we get to the very ornate cups, right? Beautiful coins. I will do, if I don't have, so some I have already, but if I don't have them yet, I will have walkthroughs on my channel. Beautiful coin, swords. So the faces are, I like the faces on these better than on some other decks. You can, it's very clear to see where they're looking, what they're looking at. There we go. And the wands, I love the ornate ends on the wands. Anyway, so that one is on my desk. And the third one, so I had to order 3 just because the shipping from France was like insane. So this is the Pierre Madini 1709. And this is a gorgeous deck. Again, like, just look at his face. It looks more proportional, right? The eyes are not half the size of the entire head. And the eyes are clear. You can see the whites of the eyes. They're not just either like white eyeballs or just black eyeballs. So clear. And this is a really, really pretty deck. The colors, again, are different. So there's the swords, right? So red and black as opposed to, there's the Fool. I don't know why some of these are upside down. Let's go. There's the wands. I'll just show sort of one of each suit. There's the coins. Right, the faces are better. Let's see. Oh, there's my, I love that he took one card and then put a note on it. This is a very pretty deck. So I think, to show all the suits, I don't think I showed the wands. So that is a Pierre Madini. So I ordered those. I didn't at that time understand really the difference between the different makers of TDM, and the fact that I didn't make the connection between the Claude Bordel being different, for example, than the Conver. And so once that happened, then I kind of needed to order another deck. And because of shipping, I ordered 3 decks. So those are on their way. All right, I'm gonna put those there. Now, having said all that, the older Italian decks are still my favorites, right? So I just got, actually these just came in yesterday afternoon, and I haven't played with them yet other than undo the packaging. So I ordered these from Italy, from the Alita store in Italy. And again, I really just wanted one of these decks, but I ended up with 3 just because shipping. And one is not tarot. So this is the one that I really wanted, which was the Tarot con Domino by Del Negro. It looks like a giant deck, right? But which kind of freaked me out because I wouldn't have ordered one that was this tall. But this is actually a case which slides across, and there's the deck. So that's cool. It does come with a little book, but which is all in Italian, which is fine for me. The artwork is different on these. So you can kind of see very different, right? Different figures. And so I thought that would be cool just to play with something that was a little bit different, but still in that TDM style, I guess. Come on, let's get to, I'm trying to get to some of the pips. Come on. For some reason, all I'm able to see right now is, check this out. The Fool, Il Matto. The crazy person, which I actually take it back. So I said that these are in the TDM style. They're not actually at all. This is more of a cardamancy style, I guess. Interesting. Like I said, I haven't even really looked at these yet, but so this card, it's got a number 8 at the bottom. I don't know if that's focusing. You can see the 7 of Hearts, and there's 2 words that are in different directions. So I guess if it's upright, then you would read the upright, which is pensiero, which is just thinking. And I guess if it was reversed, then maybe you would read the reversed word, which in this case is progetto, which is project. And same thing here. So this would be the 6 of Hearts. So upright, pasado, is the past, and reversed, futuro, future. So that's cool. There's no pips. There's no pips at all. I don't know, guys. Sometimes I have insomnia, and one of the things I tend to do is buy shit I don't need when I can't sleep. So for some reason that one appealed to me, and I decided I really needed it, which is fine. I'm gonna absolutely play with that and have fun with it. So along with those, I got 2 other decks. So one is Tarocchino Milanese, which is a little tarot from Milan. Again, it comes with a little book, which is all in Italian. This is the one I was thinking of earlier. So there's the Ace of Coins, right? There's the backs. So all the coins, they're just pips. There's a game that goes with this, which is described in the book, and I'll have to look at that. There's the ace, what we typically see, right? Let's see. Page, knight, queen, king. Let's see, then we have the wands, or batons, bastoni, and beautiful cup, which then look like this, right? And there's the Fool. So it is 78 cards. There's the World. And there is a game that goes with this, so I'm gonna be learning about that. Okay, the third deck that I got is not a tarot deck. That came with those ones. It is a Sibylla deck. So this one is also by Del Negro. And I got this one because I'm not a huge fan of the artwork of the two Sibylla decks that I have. So this is one of them. I don't have the other one out here. But, all right, it's typical Fortuna, and then the backs. Now, it doesn't really matter. Like, just like with Lenormand, you know, this card is a friend. So a friend is a friend is a friend. It doesn't really matter what the artwork looks like. But I like my tools to be pretty. And so when I saw this, there's the little booklet. When I saw this, I had to get it. I also really like that it's more of a tarot size, so it's much bigger than the Sibylla. And this, right? They're gorgeous. This is just a title card, which is why it has all that writing on the bottom. But I actually really like that it has, you know, the playing card association doesn't really matter to me because I don't read playing cards. But I like that it has a title, which is Dottore, so doctor, and then it actually has sort of keywords at the bottom to help. So, you know, like that actually does help. So for example, I don't know how, I haven't used these. I haven't even really looked through all the cards yet. Like I said, they just came. So servant, so this is the male servant, right? As that looks really blurry to me, but anyways, it says it's not blurry in real life, just on the video. But servo, so the male servant, and then avvertimento nemico, so he oh god, I've had a migraine for a week, so my words, you've heard me say this before if you've watched my videos, my words go missing. But he tells you I cannot think of the freaking word. Makes you aware of an enemy. Oh, whatever. Brain cells. Tired brain cells. Okay, so that's that. And one more TDM style, which is this, which I had to get because it was so freaking cute. So this is the Tarot of Musterberg. Here's the back, so there's an extra card, which is called the Siren. She's number 22. This was by Curio and Company. I will, by the way, I don't think I said this, but some of these I already have walkthroughs, and some I haven't done yet, but will do very soon. Anyway, so the cool thing about this, and the backs look like that. The cardstock is actually like pretty nice. So it gives you a cartomancy guide, and then on the back it says game rules. So the cool thing about this is this says this was a deck that was created specifically for a oh my god, what the hell do you call it? Like a Wonderland, like a Disney World, like a theme park called Pennyland. And they made their own deck. Now the cool thing, and so they made their own deck, and then so they had these fortune teller tents. Apparently, I would love to have seen it, by the way, but and the fortune tellers were given this deck and then advised on how to use them. And you know, they weren't real full fortune tellers. They didn't really know. It's just kind of everything was sort of formulaic. But I love this. So the Pennyland Handbook of Cartomancy has things like, in terms of the rules, so in addition to the standard rules for employment elsewhere in the park, the fortune teller tent has a few more guidelines to follow. 1. Be on time. The great beyond may work in mysterious ways, but our scheduling does not. Start on time and finish your readings to coincide with a shift change so you don't keep the next prognosticator waiting. Number 2, keep the tent tidy. Don't eat, drink, or file your nails at the divination table. And remember, ladies, the crystal ball is not a makeup mirror. Number 3, respect your fellow fortune tellers. If someone else is working under the name Madame Malfolia, you may not use that name, even if your name, it really is Malfolia. Anyways, and keep busy. Number 4, it goes on a bit. Number 4 is keep busy. Don't let passerby see you listless or bored. You may practice dealing spreads in between readings, but do not use the cards to play poker with other prognosticators while in the tent. Anyway, so everything, look, it's actually a pretty decent book in terms of the, you know, I've seen other little white books that have much less than this, but it's just kind of fun. I haven't, those first 2 pages are all that I've read so far, but the deck itself is so cute. So again, it is different, but I love the art style. All right, so I got interrupted there. Anyway, so that was the Tarot of Musterberg. Moving on to some RWS system decks that I got. So one is one that I've been waiting for. Well, I've been looking at and reading and keep thinking about for a long time now, which is the Wonderland Tarot by Barbara Moore. This book is huge, guys. Like, it gives you a full color illustration and then a page per card. Anyways, I haven't looked at it yet. This just came in very recently. There are the backs. They're a glossy cardstock, as you can see. I will do a walkthrough. Anyway, I'll do a walkthrough of that. So that's one I've not played with yet. And to go with that, I got the Wonderland Oracle. The back's super shiny. cardstock. Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to show this without. Anyways, I'll do a proper walkthrough. Again, haven't had time to play with it. And actually I got this guy, which isn't quite what I expected. I thought it was going to be a full tarot deck, but it's not. It's just the majors. And believe it or not, it is by Reader's Digest, which is very cool. The deck is called the Capek Tarot Set. Full page illustration, and then 2 or 3 pages for each card. And what it gives you a little poem about the card, other names that this card can go by, the archetype, the card description, the symbolism, Kabbalah info, and cosmological matches, so astrology. So you get all of that. It is actually just a majors only deck. The cards are quite large. There's the backs. They are beautiful. At first I was going to return this because doesn't really say on the listing that it's only the majors. And I wasn't sure that you could use the majors only for a reading, but I have since learned that actually outside of North America, majors only readings of TDM style decks are that's actually very, very common. So I thought I might try that, and they're gorgeous, and I got it for a song compared to what they're going for now, so that's fine. All right. In terms of, actually I'll finish going through the decks. I don't know whether I showed this before or not, but I got Julie. I know I definitely have a walkthrough that I posted on Julie Rose's Peekaboo Rose's Cup of Contemplation cards. These are awesome cards. I have been using these. These are freaking fabulous. Check out the walkthrough. Check out Julie's channel if you haven't already. This one just came in, which is the Work Your Light Oracle. So this one and the next one I got in the Hay House sale. I mean, I shouldn't even look. Hay House always has a sale. But I got this to go with my Moon. The struggle is real, this deck. Words are hard. Anyways, because the artist is Danielle Noel, so the artwork is actually very similar. Same with the Starseed Oracle. So, like I said, just came in. I didn't have a chance to work with it yet. The next deck I got is also one that I've looked at for a long time, and for some reason never ended up getting. And because it was so inexpensive, I did. So this is the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. The artwork is beautiful. I'm not crazy about the fact that it's super shiny, like you can see that. This just came in, so I haven't even looked through all the images yet. So I don't know whether I'll use it for, I've been reading different things. I don't, this is one that I might end up using as an oracle. We'll see. We shall see. Okay. One that I purchased because I loved this show so much when I was a kid is the Golden Girls tarot cards. And again, I haven't looked through all these cards yet. Nope. There's the backs. I love that it's like that 1980s turquoise and peaches. So apparently each of the Golden Girls has been given her own suit. So let's just get past there. There's Sophia. She's the Wands, fire. That makes total sense to me. The Pentacles are Blanche, right? Makes sense. She was all about the money. And the Cups. There's the 3 Cups. I'm blanking on her name right now, but I love her. Cups, she's all about the emotions. And the Swords are, okay. I'm blanking on their names. Sorry. It's killing me. They don't have her names. I am just blanking on the names. Sorry. I thought maybe Dorothy. That's her name. Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia. The struggle is real. Okay. Anyways, I haven't played with that one yet either. Okay, I ordered some decks. I don't think I showed these before, but I did order 3 decks. And again, I ordered 3 just because of the shipping. I really only wanted 1. And the one I wanted, I learned, I saw in a Facebook group. So Andrew McGregor, who owns the Hermit's Lamp in Toronto, made a deck a couple of years ago for cancer. And a lot of the proceeds go towards, actually they go to the Terry Fox Foundation. So it is a collaborative deck. So each artist only did 1 or 2 cards. And so you can get this still on Game Crafter. It's called The Triumph of Life. I don't have the box here. I will for the walkthrough, but I love that it is, I don't know if you can't really tell. Can you tell from there? Yeah, you can kind of see it if you look up here. So it is linen card finish, which is fabulous. The backs are cool because as you can see, they're all initials. These are all the initials of people who have died. So each of the artists who made these, who worked on this deck, dedicated the specific card to someone in their life who died from cancer. And so the artwork is different, but you know what? I took this to the cottage with me when I was up there for 2 weeks. So I only took this deck, and I took a Lenormand deck, and I took the Francois Henny deck, and I gave actually quite a few readings with this deck, and it's amazing. It works amazing. It worked like the artist did such a fabulous job with you know, sort of with their images and making sure that they sort of corresponded in some way. Like, look how gorgeous that star is. Like, amazing. Anyway, I hit buy on this before I even saw what all the cards looked like, just because I have lost people to cancer in my life, several family members as well as friends. I have someone who's two friends who are battling it right now, so I hit buy before I even saw it. So that was one. Along with that came a Lenormand deck. Lenormand is one of the things that I really want to get into. I have been doing it a little bit, studying it a little bit, but I really want to get into it a lot more. I bought this deck because it's kind of a learning deck, so I love that it's tarot size. So it is the Soulless Lenormand. Again, this is from Game Crafter. I'm pretty sure it's Game Crafter. And what I like is that it actually has keywords. I think the art is amazing. One of the things that I really like is that it has more than 36 cards. It has, I can't remember how many, but quite a few more cards that you can, and they're duplicate cards, just the artwork is different. So you can swap out which one you want. I really like that the words are not, they don't detract from the art. You can almost not even see the words, but they're there. It's hard to read, you know, where the black text is on dark brown. It can be hard to read, but to me, I thought like that wasn't something that I was oh my god, it didn't detract from it. That's what I'm trying to say. But I do find it helpful to have the words on there as I'm just learning. So I'll just put this here. So that one, and two, I know that there was another tarot deck, I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, but about 2 Lenormand decks. So these two came from Make Playing Cards. One is the Whimsy Lenormand, and one is the Modern Sibyl Lenormand. So, and again, I'll have walkthroughs, but there's the Whimsy Lenormand. You can see that the artwork is very, right? It's whimsical. And it's so flippin' cute. I just love this one so much. I'm so glad I got this deck. And the other one, I should show you guys what I have all my decks in. The Modern Sibyl Lenormand has a beautiful butterfly, and it's colorful. I've been using this one a lot as well. It's a different style. It's almost a tattoo kind of style. So I've been using these two a lot actually over the past bit. There is one more deck which, now that I think of it, I'm not sure I even have it here, but yes I do. I have done a walkthrough of this on my channel, so feel free to check it out, and that is the Medea Lenormand. So this one, if you haven't seen the walkthrough, it's very cool because, so the pouch is handmade by right, so it is, that's the fox, the back, also the fox. It's all handmade, it's beautiful, it's absolutely gorgeous. So this is a mini Lenormand. The artwork is, oh my god, I'm throwing things. The artwork is freaking gorgeous. Again, I don't know why these are upside down. Anyway, there are a couple of extra cards. You get two male and 2 female cards. There's one of them. So you can choose what you want to keep, and you also get a Happy Squirrel card. Anyway, super inexpensive. You can just Google Medea Lenormand and it will show up. I did have the card here, but I don't have it anymore. Yeah, so I know this has been a long podcast, I'm sorry. Podcast, video, long video. that's it for deck purchases. I bought a couple books. One is this one here, Untold Tarot by Caitlin Matthews, and I'm still making my way through this one. I've read maybe half of it. I highlight my books. I know, don't clutch your pearls, but they're my books, and that's how I study, it's by coloring. So that's fine. I'm still working my way through that. So that's again for in my studies for the TDM method. And then this is or style of system. This is the Open Reading by Yoav Bendov. This is an amazing book. Actually, I've read this a couple of times now, and again, I've also highlighted. I tend to read things, like when I'm studying, I tend to read things in a couple of different passes. So the first pass I'll read through sort of quickly and kind of like highlight things that I think are important for me to come back and make sure I really have it incorporated into my head. And then when I read again, I will read usually more quickly because I tend to focus on the highlighted sections. And then I make my notes from there. But this one I already had, which is the Tarot Classic by Stuart Kaplan. This one incorporates a lot of Kabbalah, into it, which I'm not going to anytime soon. I think that's yeah, I'm just not going to. And this one here, Tarot on Earth by Tom Benjamin. So this is the first time I signed up for one of the courses in the Readers Academy summer school. I took Tom Benjamin's TDM class, and it was fabulous, guys. Like, if you have a chance to take a course from them, definitely do it. His course was awesome. Like, I loved how he focused more on not telling you this is what this card means, but actually how you figure out and exercises, like practical exercises, so that you can develop your own meanings and keywords for things. And he gives you different styles of reading, or different types of reading, or different reading methods, so that you can, figure out or have multiple tools in your toolbox, so for when you need them. So I highly recommend that. This Tarot on Earth, I've only gotten through, well, you can see there, not very much yet. But I started a happy planner for my TDM, and actually I had to swap out the rings for the biggest size that I could get, because I took all my notes from the course in this, and I've all my study notes that I'm making with my books and stuff is all going in here, and I've got it sectioned out the way that makes sense to my brain, so that I can best learn. So that's really what's been keeping me busy for the most part. My next thing that I want to do is study Lenormand, so I'll do a similar thing, but I'm not quite finished. I need to get through these books and much more practice with TDM before I get super in depth on the Lenormand. And I've been working with Lenormand anyways, so it's not like nothing is happening. It's just that I'm not going to do an in-depth study like that just yet. So that is what's been keeping me busy. It seems like, yeah, it's a lot. It's been a lot. I am super happy with the decks that I have come in. I am waiting for a few more. And probably end up restarting the depth year maybe next year, once things get a little bit more stable, I guess, with the world. We'll see how it goes. But I hope you've enjoyed. If you stuck around this long, thank you. I know there's super long videos, but it's been a few months, a few quite hectic months. So let me know if, if you're curious about any of the decks that I have, let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. I will have walkthroughs, as I said, if I don't already, on my channel. So feel free to check those out. And yeah, let me know what you've been working on. I would love to hear. So I'm gonna let you go. Until next time, my friends, tell your truth.